Okay, so in this video, we're going to take a look at how to create a... Oh, so sorry.
Hi Dad, sorry to bother you, but I've got an awesome idea for your students.
Okay, so you got it. It's a fake FaceTime call. It's not actually happening, but it's a great way to introduce things to your class in a fun and kind of engaging, shocking way. I used to do this in my sessions with my students in university, and they did always believe that someone from home was phoning into the middle of a presentation that I was giving, or in the middle of a session, the phone would start to ring. But actually, it's just a prompt to get that next thing into the lesson in a fun way. It could be introducing a task, could be introducing the whole lesson. So let's take a look at how that works, because it is pretty simple. You just need to know some of the basics. So I'm in Keynote. I'm going to start a blank slide and go through the whole process that I've gone through from start to finish. So because I'm recording this, I can't do this live, so I'm just going to show you the steps that I've gone through for this. The first thing to do is to phone yourself. So if you've got an iPad that you're going to be presenting off of, because you're going to want to have that kind of screen resolution to make it look like you're on a bigger device, because obviously your phone ringing wouldn't show up on your device in the same screen resolution. So therefore you're going to want to be able to call a FaceTime call to your iPad. And that's what this page looks like. Now, there's a couple of cheats in here, because as you know, when your FaceTime call rings, actually you show up on the screen because the camera instantly opens. Now, there's a bit of a giveaway there, because that background's probably going to be different depending on where I'm answering this call, where I'm doing the presentation. So all I've actually done here is just put my thumb over the camera just to give me the black background. So I just keep that nice and simple. The second step then is to add the graphics here over the screen, because that's the giveaway. Now, you don't have to do that. You could just have the video come on, because really in that moment, who's going to be looking to see if, well, that wouldn't have appeared there, or that should be there, or there should be a button there. But, you know, let's be picky about this. Let's try and make it look as good as we can. So with that one then, quite simply, all I've done, if I go into my pictures, is exactly the same thing. I've just taken a screenshot of the screen as I took that picture, which is in fact this one here. And, you know, so there's my phone sort of facing the ceiling as I'm phoning myself, and that's me with my thumb covering the area. So what I want to do is just kind of take the elements of this that are just going to help me. So to do that, I'm going to duplicate this picture a couple of times, and just make sure they're all layered on top of each other. And I'm sure there's probably lots of better ways to do this, but this is just the way I'm going to do it. The first thing I want to do is get the take photo icon. And the reason I'm doing it this way is because I want them to be in exactly the same position each time. So if I tap done there, that's just shrunk that initial picture down just for that element. Next thing I'm going to want is this here, but I've got this kind of issue with all of the background and everything in here. So I'm actually going to instant alpha out the picture. So go to the paintbrush, image, instant alpha. It doesn't matter too much about what I destroy in this, as long as I don't destroy the bits that I want to use, i.e. this element down here. Don't worry too much about the dates and that, because we can replicate that again afterwards. There we go. So I've removed all of those background elements, and now I'm just going to take that bit. I just didn't want all of that background. So at this point, the one thing that's missing on the screen is the date and the time across the top. Now, I could go through the whole process again and instant alpha out the background, but actually the date and time is exactly the same as the one on that initial shot I took. So I'm just going to copy this image and overlay it here, so it's in exactly the right position, exactly where I want it to be. And again, just get rid of everything that I don't need and tap done. So now I've got my FaceTime page. This is what it would look like when someone rings. And the simple thing to do now is to just add in that video. So this is the one that I would use with my students. And if we just zoom out, it's just a video which sits on top of all of that, just to give that effect. So you can add any videos into this. You know, you could mock up a recording from a friend, a relative, anybody who you want to introduce them into. I will say that I have done this with younger learners, and I have actually introduced a certain jolly fella around Christmas time to phone into the lesson to give the students a bit of excitement, but also set them a little bit of a fun task, and it worked amazingly well. So I'm sure you can be really creative with who is phoning into the session. Now, the last thing to consider here is you need to make it sound like this is a call going off. Now, you might have your phone on silent, but then there's also you lose that shock factor of your phone going off in the middle of a session. So for that, we're going to jump out because we're going to create our own ringtone. And here's another kind of fun little activity that you can do with learners. So I'm going to jump into Garageband and I'm going to start a new project. And I've gone into live loops across the top here, you'll see. And I'm going to keep this nice and simple. And actually, when you go into lots of these sort of, toy box things that you can download, by the way, they're all easy to get in the sound library. I'm going to go actually into edges and angles because there's some nice kind of musical elements in this, which are just kind of jingly, things that you can play around with. And really, this is the point of just play and just see what sounds nice as a ringtone. So you can just start thinking, like, I can create my own ringtone here. I like these two. I like this. So I'm just going to stop those for a second, start record. There we go. So simple as that. And then I'm going to go back to my documents and I'm going to rename this, okay? Because I need to know that this is a specific ringtone, and I'll say ringtone FaceTime. There we go. So once it's renamed, and that's an important bit because you're going to need to find it in a second, I'm now going to share this, but I'm going to share this as a song. Now, don't be confused because you can actually make ringtones for your device this way, but I'm not going to use it as an actual ringtone. It has to sit within Keynote, so I'm going to export it as a song. I'm going to leave everything here the same. High quality is absolutely fine, and tap on share. Tap on open in, and once it just exports this song and creates it for you, what it's going to do is allow me to be able to add this to my Keynote deck as an audio recording. So there we go. So that's loaded through. And now I just want to save this to files. And I'm going to save it under Garageband and just tap save up here. Now when I go back into Keynote, on this initial slide, this is the one, there's my audio recording here. So I'll delete the one that was in there. I'll move this so you can see the flow. So what I need to do is add that ringtone onto this screen. So I'm going to tap on the plus. I'm going to go to insert from, and I just need this one here. Now, it might come up as your recents. You might have to do a search. Obviously, that's why you would name it. Make sure you name it as something. So I'm just going to click on this. That gives me it as an audio. There we go. There's my ringtone. And all I'm going to do is just place it off the slide. Doesn't need to be there. Now, the final thing to do, what I did in mine before, is I just took a screenshot of my homepage. So that that was that reveal. It could just be that you put these two slides in the middle of a deck that you're presenting. Simple as that. Just add them halfway through. But what you're going to need to do is make sure that the ringtone plays automatically. So I'm going to go to my transitions and builds, go to start audio, and I want to change this to after transition. So the second I move from that initial slide, if I tap the screen to give the impression that I'm moving to the next slide, the ringtone's going to play automatically. I don't have to tap the slide again. The great thing here is that you can move away from the device and then it rings. It kind of gives that nice effect. So I'm happy with that. Tap done. Let's use that same video again rather than make another one. And just put that in here. There we go. And again, just make sure that you just play around with your arrangement so you can see everything. Simple as that. I'll just delete that one so we get the full effect. So here we go again. This is what it looks like. Tap play in the middle of a presentation. Yada, yada, yada. Help, welcome. Tap on the screen. Ringtone, interrupt session. Tap on the green.
Hi, Dad.
Video
Sorry
starts.
to bother you, but I've got a...
Now, I've just noticed one final thing. When I was doing my instant alpha, I left that black element there. So I'm just going to tidy that up. We all make mistakes. even if we're recording it live, and realise that we probably could just go back and delete that, but let's just show you the process. There we go, tap done, and now it looks a little bit better because it's actually got that outline. So there we go, fake FaceTime calls, how to make a very, very quick ringtone to add that effect, but a lot of fun in the classroom to just add shock and awe. Like I said, I do this in higher education, and I've done it all the way down with little 5-year-olds as well, and you get exactly the same effect. So take a look, have a go, and please subscribe to the channel for more videos, tips and ideas.